For lesson 23, we're looking at work problems using unit rate to compare which one has a better rate, which one's going faster, and so on. So here we have our first example, and this example shows that we can, this individual is able to mow 3 lawns in 5 hours. And then we have another person who is able to mow 5 lawns in 8 hours. And we can see here with our equivalent ratios that they've created our equivalent fractions as well. We're going from 5 hours to 1 hour. This is just like on our ratio table when we would have, we'd have lawns on one side, hours on the other side. And we put 3 lawns, 5 hours, and they tell us we're going to 1 hour. So when I'm going to 1 hour, I put a 1 here. To go from a 5 to 1, we're dividing by 5. So we take 3 divided by 5. And then this is where we get a decimal. You can use a calculator, or if you are able to do your long division, you would get 6/10. So they could mow 6/10 of a lawn in 1 hour. If you want to do a proportion, you could do the cross multiply. So here I would cross multiply. I get a 3 times 1, which gives me a 3. My second step is to divide. So I took a 3 divided by 5, which gave me my 6/10. We could do the same thing on this other problem. We're going from 8 to 1 on a ratio table. We would have 5 lawns in 8 hours. And I'm going to 1 hour. I would see from 8 to 1, I divide by 8. That means I take 5 divided by 8. And when you do your long division, if you choose to not use a calculator, that would be a 50 divided by 8 would be 6. You'd get a 48 with a 2. We'd bring down another 0. That gives me a 20. 20 divided by 8 is 2. Gives you a 16. We get a 4. Bring down another 0. That's a 40. Divided by 8. 40 divided by 8 is 5, which means we get 625 thousandths lawns. So when I'm looking at these two numbers, when you're comparing decimals, you want to go to the same place value. So I'm starting here in the tens place, and they both have a 6, so they're the same so far. The next place, though it's not there, it's zeros from here on out after the decimal. And so this is a 0, this one has a 2, therefore this one is more. You also could think of it as this is 600 hundredths, or 600 thousandths, and this is 625 thousandths, and 625 is bigger than 600, so this one is who can cut lawns faster. Let's go on down to our next example. And while we're doing these examples, please consider which way you feel the most comfortable to solve them, because when you go on to your checkpoint, you don't need to do everything. So we have menus and hours going down, so we get to create this. Let's say that the first person, or the first company, because it's what they're printing, I think. First person, let's say, can do 30 menus in 5 hours. And this person is able to do 26 menus in 4 hours. So we're going to do the same thing. If you want to do a ratio table, you just need to set that up. We have menus and hours. 30 menus, 5 hours. We're going down to 1 hour. That means we're dividing by 5 on both sides, which means they're able to get out 6 menus in an hour. Over here, we have 26 menus in 4 hours. We're going down to 1 hour. This means I'm dividing by 4. So this is 26 divided by 4. I'm going to get a decimal. So 26 divided by 4. 4 can go into 26 6 times. Subtract 24, I get a 2. I need to bring down my 0, put my decimal up there. That's a 20. That would be 5 because 4 times 5 gives me my 20. And that means they can get 6.5 out in an hour. If you want to do the proportions, you just do your cross multiply. So I'm just going to split this in half. You're going to cross multiply. That's a 30 times 1 gives you 30. My second step is my division, which would be 5 was the only thing left over. So that's 30 divided by 5 gives me my 6. Over here, same thing, cross multiply. That would be 26 times 1 gives me 26. Divide by the only number left. 26 divided by 4 gave me 6.5. The second one, again, is better because 6.5 menus in an hour is more than 6 menus in an hour. Now, you're going to do example 3 for me. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the values for you to do your check. So let's say that this person is able to go 10 feet in 4 seconds. This person can go 12 feet in 5 seconds. And below, we are going to say that this can go, let's say, 15 words in 3 seconds. This is going to be texting. That means we're going to 1 second. And this individual is able to do 24 words in, let's say, 5. And you're going down to 1 second. Go ahead and solve these two and have me check it before I move you on to your checkpoint.